The bay taught you about fish and crab. You know, you like to fish and crabbing, and by observation, you learn more than you were taught. I think one of the most remarkable sights, I had a nice sailboat. My wife and I were in mid-bay, just below Smith Point. It was a sailboat, and the wind had gone flat, and the surface, of course, was flat. And I saw something I have never heard of. There were people out there in rowing boats. One person rowing, another person sitting on the bow with a crab net. And you look around, and there are these mating crabs, a hard crab and a soft crab. The soft crab being the female. And they just row up to one and dip it up and put it in the boat. And there were hundreds of them, and I had never heard about this. You learn by looking. On the pilot cutter, when the weather was good, we'd stay at anchor right off Cape Henry Beach, about a mile offshore. And seasonal, when it came time for the females to go to sea, they'd ride out on the ebb current. And they came by that anchored pilot boat so you could hardly stick your hand between them. And they were just pouring down the sides of the anchored pilot boat, going to sea to hibernate. And we had a motor launch tied up alongside, and it was had a forward cockpit for the operator and a forward cockpit for a pilot and an aft cockpit for the operator. We put 2 galvanized, clean garbage cans in there and dipped up 2 galvanized cans of hard crabs in about an hour and filled them up. And at midnight, we were cooking crabs. And all this, these were migrating, going to sea. And people didn't know about that. They didn't know about this migration. They thought that some of them did burrow in the mud off of Lynn Haven. And the guys would go in there and dredge them up. And that was terrible. They finally made a law against it, but they visualized the bottom of the area there as being flat, like that table. But it wasn't. It was scalloped from people dropping anchors and just a natural hole. But they would set their dredge at a level where sometimes they would scrape off the shell of a crab and kill it. Sometimes they'd scoop it up, but these were emaciated crabs because they hadn't eaten anything all season. And I'm glad to see that they had stopped that practice, because it really was not doing the industry any good. The fellows, they blamed it on everything else except themselves, the overfishing. And I have to say that that's my personal opinion, but it proved itself. We came close to losing the crab population until the regulations went in and began helping to grow the population back again.